Hey, 9:30 straight down. I can't say it straight up, right? If it's 9:30. I'm going to come right over here to a speed test. There's my audio confirmation and show you that 2 minutes before starting the stream, I had 490 download, 23.3 upload. Now that I am streaming, going to check and see what the speed test is showing. During Fortnite this morning, speed was really, really bad. I think it was like 13,000 drop frames, something like that. And there's 10 megabits per second upload while I'm streaming. It shouldn't be that low. That's a little bit too low. Now to demonstrate why, I'll do Control-Shift-Escape to bring up Task Manager and go to Ethernet and see down here that I'm sending at 10 megabits per second. Okay, well, that's a little bit high that I'm sending that high, because I've often seen it down around 5 to 7 megabits per second of sending while streaming. But I'm using OBS Studio now instead of the other streaming software. I wonder if that makes a difference. Maybe. I'm going to unmute desktop audio in case I want to play something. And this looks very radical here. Then let's see, another piece I wanted to go to. Did I? Oh, I wanted to tell you what's going on with, did I say it yet? Already, it's December 12th, 2023 on a Tuesday morning. Yesterday I went for an errand after the show was sort of over yesterday or aborted. And on the way back, I found 2 Comcast vehicles in the neighborhood. I stopped and talked to them and said, is this, are you doing something that's going to help fix the upload problem here? And they said, yes. We've been working on this since last Wednesday, or since last Wednesday. And it's intermittent. It moves from one neighborhood to another. So they are out there and on the job. Just before starting the show this morning, I drove around the neighborhood to see if they're out there. No, they're not. I got the guy's cell phone number. I texted him information about how my Fortnite stream went this morning, and also gave him a report prior to starting the show. So I didn't call them. They're in the neighborhood already working on this problem. So no, I have not called Comcast. They already knew about the problem and are on the job. So then, let me go over to, where do I want to go? I want to go to channel comments, catch up with some stuff. Chris Garrett back here 2 days ago. My Dell Latitude 3520 has USB-C charging, also has the round charging port. I did not like the USB-C charger. At first, it would be okay if they had 2 or more USB-C ports. There's plenty of room, and also still have room for regular USB. Some companies are doing away with standard USB ports. I'm not quite so convinced about that. I've seen particular models of computers, I've had them not have any USB Type A ports, but if you want USB Type A ports, the companies so far have, I can choose a different model and get USB Type A ports. I like for there to be more than one USB-C ports when they're there. But anyway, it's all evolving, and I'm suspecting the major manufacturers are going to be providing choices between their different models. Busy Ben says, thank you for uncomplicating my life, and that's in response to the how to fix Gmail reverse conversation order, and similarly on this one, how to upgrade Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro. Frank Madalive says, that was awesome. Thank you for the answers. I was not getting elsewhere. So for both of you, Ben and Frank, myself in the chat room, we're here every day, 6 days a week, Monday through Friday at, usually 9 a.m. Pacific time. Saturdays, usually 11 a.m. Pacific time. And on Saturdays, we have a Zoom session to interact with whatever questions might be coming up. Sure like to see you show up during the live shows if you're able to, or keep communicating with us through your comments, and we will respond. Dennis says, my character was black and white, so I was suggesting the song Take On Me. Oh, that's why he was suggesting that song back on Saturday. which, oh, by the way, was featured in your trailer today. Oh, the trailer today before the show had a bunch of songs from the 1980s, certain months, top chart hits in the 1980s, and it was in there. I didn't know that. Josh has a question, send it by email. He did send the email. It had to do with concerns whether I'm affected by the fires going on in California. No, not myself and my family are not affected by those. Thank you for your concern, Josh. And then moving on here, Cassandra, I hope you feel better, Doug. And that would have been in relation to what? I don't know. I feel like I have been a little bit draggy or tired feeling. Somebody made that comment on Saturday. And yeah, I think that was right on. And then here's on a comment on the Comcast speed video. Continued. I think he had a comment previously. Well, let's go look at his comments in sequence on the actual video. Yeah, here they are. 35 minutes ago. Oh, that's interesting. The 35 minutes ago one did not show up on my channel comments. That's weird. So his first comment, if you downgrade your speed from 1.2 down to 800 megabits per second, you'll still get slower speeds. I pay for the 800 megabits per second, and I have Intel Gigabit 1.0, and my speed is getting 500 megabits per second. So this man doesn't want to tell you the truth. The problem is a few factors. Xfinity box has Xfinity Wi-Fi and not your home box Wi-Fi, and it's throttled up and down and uses more of your electricity. The home box also has no fans keeping the chips cooling or removing the heated component. And here's continued. Heated component with no fans to remove it from the unit. And lastly, it's the main wire out on the poles or underground, or if it's the buried wires. That is the problem I'm having. It's outside of my home. And I got that confirmed yesterday by talking to the two techs that are working in the area because they have area-wide problems. Buried wires, two factors. Squirrels climb on main wires. Also critters like raccoons and groundhogs also bury themselves and chew up the wires. And Comcast Xfinity doesn't want to fix their mistakes and needs a pipe shield, not CPVP, whatever, but to use aluminum galvanized, and the studs need to be shielded to the elements. I think also weather. I seem to have more problems when there's drastic weather. We've had freeze warnings for a few days in a row, and I have bad internet a few days in a row. It also seems that I have troubles when there's hot days. I haven't really pinned them down to that, but it seems I have a series of days in a row where I have problems, and then long periods of time where it's okay. Now, right now I'm showing, I'll show you over here, press this button, Doug. Down here at the bottom where I'm moving my mouse, I'm showing drop frames 41 with 0.1%. We can get along with that. You're probably not experiencing any buffering with that. So there, I've responded to all those comments. I will give them thumbs ups and hearts after I reply to their comments with timestamps as to when I responded to them in this video, with 3 people commenting today. Oh, I know I'm not getting that. I got to go back to channel comments. If I go back to, well, let's see, if I go here and then here. Oh, there's channel comments. No, that was... Oh, come on. There's channel comments. So, Alucard Forever and Frank and Ben. Now, the others, Chris Garrett is a regular around here. Dennis is a regular around here. Josh is a regular around here. Costanza is a regular around here. So I don't need to reply to them with time stamps. Now then, let's move on to video was blocked. I've got an email over here that says, oh, and Ken Stout will be interested in this, maybe. I've got I did another trailer with Making Christmas, the Pentatonics group. I like them a lot, and I'm going to show what happened over here in regards to that video. It's the most significant block that I've had so far. Right here, this trailer, it says blocked. This video contains copyrighted material. As a result, it has been blocked worldwide. I cannot even show it as a trailer. But I really enjoyed this video that they have here. Now I'm not gonna play the sound for you. It's muted right there. But it's a fun Christmas video, and they do this crazy things with their pupils and their eyes, and they turn into the scary Christmas scene. So I'm going to give you a link for that, and you can go watch it if you'd like to. So I just pulled a link from that share, and then come down here and Pentatonics. They are a cappella group with beatboxing, and I enjoy that group a lot, particularly some of their videos. Now then, we'll get back to chat after I decide if I finished everything. Nope, I've got another thing to take you to. The job that I did for a client over the weekend, I got pictures here. I went out to their office on Friday. She was complaining that she couldn't get into her scans folder. The scans folder was reporting corrupted folder. So on Friday night, I began a scan disk space C://R. The computer rebooted, so while I was not connected, I couldn't see it. When I arrived to their office on Saturday, which I think these photos are from Saturday, I found that the scans folder right down here is now visible. So the check disk work was successful at restoring that. However, Crystal Disk Info still shows a caution and still shows current pending sector count. And I looked at that number before doing the check disk and after to see if it improved. And it might have been a bit higher. I think it was 3.0. And I have that captured on video. I don't have it captured on photo. Now I'll show the rest of what I did with that computer. It's a 1 terabyte spinning drive. So I brought it in here to my desk and Saturday, well, I was doing this work on Sunday. I picked it up on Saturday. And so I installed a SSD, 1 terabyte. And then here, yeah, I'm showing that it was 8 o'clock on Sunday that I was working on it. No other reason for that photo. And then I went to look at their backups. This is one of those instances where I had shrunk the partition of the C drive from that 1 terabyte down to cut about in half, made the second partition the M drive for Macrium Reflect backups. So I was doing backups to that partition, and I made use of that. Here's the full backup that was running at 10 p.m. every Monday. Then go to the next screen, and here we're seeing let's see, starting November 17th was, oh, that's when it started. No, it's 2019. It's been doing backup since then. I don't think there's any other need to, it says last runtime December 4th, so that's worth noticing. And then 10 p.m. every week starting November 17th. But notice here, the last successful backup was November 6th, which is okay. This computer doesn't store data of significance. There is a little bit of data files. We'll get into that in a moment. Zoom in here a little bit closer. See November 6th, 10 p.m. That has a valid backup. So here I'm going to restore that backup image. Now here we're showing the restore file here with the 3 partitions. This gray area here is the M drive that contains the backups. I can't back that up to the M drive because it's the destination. And then here's the local disk, that 1 terabyte drive that has the problem. This is the drive that has the problem. I don't want to restore to that drive. So then on here, I'm going to select a different target disk. And then down here, you see in this gray area, that's the new SSD that I have connected. So I click on that. And then now we see the backup file and the destination, and I click on this copy selected partitions. I don't have to do that. I could just click next, and it would automatically click those. It would automatically copy those partitions. And then here I'm clicking next, and then here I took a little side trip. I went back to look at the log and see what the log was showing. Here's 4 failed backups, most probably due to that failing drive, right? And this one down here, probably due to that failing drive. So it failed here and it succeeded a couple times. And it was November 6th is the successful one, right? And come forward. And when I look at the detail of that log, shows backup aborted, unable to read from disk. No surprise there. That's what we'd expect to see based upon what we've seen so far about the condition of that original drive. So here I'm clicking copy selected partitions. The numbers now from the source backup file and the destination, which is the new SSD, are identical. And next, I click on the next button. And here we're off and running, performing the restore. And on verify image, I chose not to, because I don't need to verify the image. The image is what it is. It's either going to work or it's not. Then I click finish, and zero progress for overall progress and for current progress, and continue to the next one. We're seeing that it's attempting a trim for this operation 1 of 3. It does multiple operations based upon how many partitions you have. And here's operation 2. There's again attempting trim operation because it detected that there was an SSD involved. Restore complete in 20 minutes and 40 seconds. And then here I'm showing I have the original drive disconnected. You see the signal cable is disconnected, the power is disconnected. So now I'm going to boot from the SSD. When on this computer, when I change the boot or the drive connected configuration, it comes up with this message, wants me to press F1 to save changes. So I do that. And it boots in about 29 seconds. Now I had to actually enter a password during that 29 seconds. And then I went back to, here it is up and running. And that's here in my studio. And then I went back and am I showing, yeah, here I'm connecting the original customer's drive. And the original customer's drive is connected to this port and the SSD to this one. And what am I doing here? Oh, I'm going to move these cables. I was wondering if you go to the last SATA port, will it still boot off of that port? I didn't know that for sure, so I want to test that, and yes, it will. No, not talking to you now, caller. So in that case, I'm showing that it took 4 minutes for it to boot on that faulty spinning drive. And then I come back and change the cables again, and now I'm at 47 seconds. That's booting on the SSD with the spinning drive connected, but I'm not confident about that speed because of the time that I took for doing the password. Then, let's see. Oh, then I copied the files that the scans folder was stored on the C drive. So I copied the ones that were there on the original drive. That's why I reconnected the original drive. To copy over the files that were in the scan folders. I don't think she needs those. I also copied some extra files that were on the desktop since the last backup. So that just doing all of that. And then here I'm showing the 3.0, the original spinning drive now showing 3.0, whereas previously it showed 2D. So this is 2 more current pending sector count problems. What did I circle around on these photos? 48, 40. I'm looking at the numbers in the upper left. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Oh, this is me showing the check disk. Oh, that's right. I did another check disk while it was here in the office because I wanted to see if I could improve that current pending sector count. Just as curiosity. So that finished. There's in 58.50 minutes, and then it did not change that at all. Now, another thing that I did over the weekend is I downloaded the Steve Gibson 6.1 spin right, or I think that's the number it's called. But anyway, the one that does SSDs and new drives and is all current, up to date. When I got that downloaded, I discovered that I have to run the old version of the program, which I do have, and make a bootable drive off of that, bootable thumb drive, and then copy the new version of the program onto there because he doesn't have the installation, the media creation procedure set up right for that. It's not really intended for general public yet. It is for people who already have a SpinRite license and are willing to jump through the extra hoops. So I want to use that on this drive, but I haven't got to that yet. Now I'm going to go to chat because that catches me up with everything. Tuesday show starting 30 minutes later than usual. Great trader from Martin Hogson, Vicious, Brian Lightfoot, Lawn Dog. Thought I had my record collection pretty well hidden from everyone, Doug. How come you're messing with my record collection? Josh, John Williams, good trader. Alice Ran Israel, Richard Rogers, Selden Ball, Martin Hogg. Can anyone advise how to customer unable to access internet? Windows 11 laptop Wi-Fi is okay. Other devices can access internet over Wi-Fi. Okay, I uninstalled Norton and now can access internet. Customer happy. Okay, so can anyone advise? You go to the doctor and say, doctor, it hurts when I put my arm up like this. The doctor says, don't put your arm up like that. So Wi-Fi doesn't work with Norton installed. Well, uninstall it. All right, on a more significant note, it's how long has Norton been on the machine? Did anyone ever fuss with configurations of it? Is it up to date? Is it licensed or not? Maybe go reset Norton to default values if you want to fix Norton. My personal preference, uninstall it. It could be a far outdated version that's not even supposed to be used with the current version of Windows 11, possibility. So Martin was asking, can anyone advise? So those are my thoughts along the lines of advice. As far as, I think what he's asking for is an explanation. Can you explain why this laptop is unable to get through with Norton? Now, the other devices in the office that are working with Wi-Fi, do they have Norton installed? Let's see, what else? Was the Wi-Fi of this laptop, was it on static IP addresses? Is there a difference of DNS configurations between the devices that work and the devices that don't work? I've come across occasions where there's another DHCP server on the network where any particular computer might pick up the settings from the other DHCP device that's on the network and could mess things up. Alan Spain, hello. Chris Garrett, Josh Kinder, Robert. Bobby asked if I called Comcast. I've already talked about that enough. Ken Stout, I'm confused. Is it Tuesday? Oh boy, is Wintermute here? Is Wintermute here? Wintermute's not here. Oh man, what a relief that is, because I was so afraid that Wintermute might spill the beans to Ken Stout about the mistake that I made at the end of the Fortnite show this morning, because I was worried that Ken Stout might go do some of his monkey business with that. But fortunately, Wintermute's not here to spill the beans. What? Wait a minute. Ah, shoot. Never, pretend I didn't say that. Just pretend I didn't say that. Erase the last 30 seconds. Mike Wojcik, Daniel Emberley, Jim, did I not say it was Comcast? It's always Comcast, of course. Ken to Jim, did you see a putty tat? Comcast, that's right, conniving. Daniel Emberley, I did RMA my Asus B550 motherboard. They're sending me a replacement. I will have a spare board for future troubleshooting or a new build. Wonderful. Long Dog says, Daniel, that's fantastic. I love having spare parts. Josh, you're welcome. Alice, right, Richard, can't tag anyone for some reason. Is it check up here, Alice, on the three-dot menu in the upper right, click on participants. Anybody that's showing up on the list here, you should be able to type the @ symbol in the first one or two characters of their name and have them pop up. If they have rotated off of this list because they haven't commented recently enough, that's when you won't see you type the @ symbol in the first couple letters and they don't pop up. Yeah, I'll get there. Stop nagging me about that phone. Jeremy, Richard. Fire is northwest of LA near Simi Valley. Yes, and I do have relatives down in the LA area, but they're far enough away that it's not affecting them. Hellos between peoples. Dennis says, morning in Panama, we have to talk to cable support with WhatsApp. Rick Lakes, hello. Alice can tag now. Ken, just wondering, were the text name Bill and Ted? Londog, the technicians with their fancy equipment, they pretty much are looking for bad connections or cabling that is possibly deteriorated. That's pretty much all these guys can do, but they have some very sophisticated testing gear. They can also replace equipment. Golfing is planned for 4 p.m. today, finally. Lawn Dog, intermittent problems can be really hard to find. Wiggling wires, changing connections, things like that can be elusive and appear. Yeah, and they did indicate that it's difficult to track down, but I'm glad to know that they're on the job. Above ground wires, especially copper pairs, coax, very affected by weather and corrosion. I did have wires replaced from the box out in front of my property up to my box. They replaced the cable through there, and that fixed a problem I was having a while back. That you have corrected the problem, they might return. Can be elusive or appear. That you have corrected the problem, they might return. The problems might return, yeah. Zavim Manor, my time zone works for me, 1930. Yeah, actually, and I did speed tests from the 9 o'clock through 9:30, and it was good through all of that. My fortnight this morning was horrible, really bad. It's the worst that it's been for a long time. So the badness was during that time. Long day. I believe Doug lives in an area where it snows, or at least gets very cold and rainy at times. We've had freeze warnings over a few days, but we've had snow here once in my life, and it accumulated enough on the lawn that we were able to build a snowman, but that was once. Connection terminating points susceptible to corrosion, some old style telephones, yada yada. Ran Israel. Home Free is another excellent a cappella group. I'm not familiar with them. Let's see. Let me see if I can bring them up. YouTube, and I'm just going to paste his comment, not bother with, yeah, there it is, not bother with editing it down to be more appropriate in a search. Older than my that is older than my HP business model. Ken Stout just hits me in orange for some reason. I don't know why. Video unavailable. This video contains content from SME, who has blocked it in your country on copyright grounds. That is the message I get when I click your link. Oh, really? I didn't block it. Oh, Pentatonics. Oh, you know what? Okay, I know what I did. I gave you the link to my trailer. I need to give you the link to their show. But here, oh yeah, see, that's trailer. I need to get to their show. So here is that's an album, Making Christmas. Nope, that's one song. Will that take me to it? No, that's taking me to YouTube Music. They didn't give a link to that. YouTube would usually do that. So then let's do Making Christmas, Pentatonics. Come over here, and I'll duplicate that tab because I don't want to lose that one. And then search for that. And here, this one will work. Get a share from that. Copy. I bet somebody already put it in chat, didn't you? Let's see, that one. Oh, I don't have timestamps. Timestamps. And then that lost his thing. Okay. Pentatonics. I think I spelled that wrong. Get over it. Now see if that takes me there. Yes, it does. Okay, so now you got it. I don't have my alarms configured for this strange time of doing the show, right? Where was I? Where did I leave off? Get to Ken, back to Ken's comment where he says my link doesn't work. I saw that. That's my link. Video unavailable. That's the message I get. I get the same. Same here. Dennis's week 2 quests completed. People saying hello to each other. Darren's here. Just got an email on the harmful EMF radiation. Daniel Emberley, I ran the Western Digital Drive test software, long version, on my drive where disk info showed yellow caution. That drive passed with Western Digital test. Then after the Western Digital test, go back and do a Crystal Disk info again. Does it still have the yellow caution? And not only the yellow caution, but the actual number. Down lower, one of those lines should have a yellow dot. And what's the number showing out there? So did the Western Digital test actually repair something? Or did it just not report the problem in the first place? That'd be really surprising, because Crystal Disk Info is not actually doing any testing. Crystal Disk Info is only reporting what the drive is telling you, what the drive is reporting. The drive's smart info, I guess that's the smart info, is telling Crystal Disk Info, I got a problem. The Western Digital utility ought to be able to show that. SpinRite 6.1 only does level 2, aka data recovery on SSD. Is not recommended to do level 4 on SSDs, aka maintenance mode. Let's see, SpinRite 6.1. I'm not sure that it is. 6.1, is that the old version or is that the new version? Only does level 2, aka also known as data recovery on SSD. It is not recommended to do level 4 on SSDs, also known as maintenance mode. Okay. Now, Greg M, is that Steve Gibson's take on it, or is that somebody else's take that doesn't really intimately know SpinRite? Because there's a lot of critics out there of SpinRite that just are angry at it, just mad at it, and they're not going to give it a second chance at all. So, but that could be, I don't know. And that could be even from Steve. I don't know. So Greg M, where is that coming from? Emitted from cell phones. Oystein, remove Norton, LOL. Norton is bad. I find Norton doesn't really add anything useful, in my opinion. And it just takes a lot of resources. It's a resource hog. It will slow the computer down in time after time. So if you want to use Norton, you should be really learning how to configure it to do the extra things that you want it to do. Because there are some extra things that it does that Windows Defender doesn't do. Most people don't need that stuff, in my opinion. And it's going to slow your computer down. In my opinion, in my experience. Especially if you have hard disk drive, not SSD. Nice, better than cold, whatever. I had no idea. I'm here, Oystein. Wintermute's here now. LOL, uses a lot. Oystein is there. Yes, that's right. Oystein was there this morning too. It was good to see you there, Oystein. It was nice to see both Wintermute and Oystein there with Fortnite this morning. And I think they were both there for the goof that we're not going to let Ken know about. Hint. 36 watching, only 2 likes. Wintermute would never reveal that embarrassing piece of information. So embarrassing. Chris Garrett, live Bill and Ted sold out to Beavis and Butthead. He actually got it. Yeah, I know. It snows on GTA Online. Grand Theft Auto Online. It snows on Grand Theft Auto Online around the holidays in LA. I don't think that's what Alice means, but I'm not sure what GTA means in that context. Jeff Ryman, good to see everyone there. Such a Doug when it comes to links. Yeah, I like hot dogs. Just ate lunch, now it's time to take a nap. I recall a cable guy telling me there's a splitter in the house somewhere between my cable home entry point and my router. We were unable to find it. He disconnected quite in-home cable connectors. He disconnected maybe quite a few in-home cable connectors. Yeah, that's a problem. If you got splitters between your outer connection and your inside equipment, that will definitely degrade a cable signal. And I've come across instances where there's a splitter somewhere in the house or under the house from long, long ago, and nobody knows where it is, and it's hard to even know for sure that it is there. Krista Danielle, splitter should be okay to have unless for some reason it went bad. It splits the amount of signal. It reduces signal strength. So you can have controlled number of them, but it can add to the troubles. That is Steve Gibson's, and that is limitation of spin right 6.1. Must leave CU. Thank you, ZV. Greg M. Sounds like because the way SpinRite works, going after data and then verifying it and moving it if needed, that added wear and tear and maintenance. Well, certainly it does add wear and tear. And if you're dealing with SpinRite is, from the maintenance point of view, you can run it before you have a problem, and it will detect sectors that are going to become a problem, and it'll go ahead and flag them as bad, as I understand. But if you are in a data recovery mode, Steve himself says no, send it to a data recovery place. Don't try to recover important data that you are not unable to get using SpinRite. That's not what it's intended for. And a lot of people don't understand that. That is Steve's claim. If you listen to his explanation on his website of how SpinRite works, he explains that. Wear and tear in maintenance mode may not be necessary given the solid state type of media versus a hard drive magnetic media. You have to be concerned with adding stress on the cells, but that's interesting. I would think Steve would just not allow the maintenance option when he detects an SSD or solid state memory. I'll be finding that out. Personally, SpinRite is from a bygone era of spinning drives. SpinRite 6.1 should have been released a decade ago. Well, yeah, if he was a big company and had unlimited resources to hire people to do it, yeah, but he's a one-person operation, and he did what he did when he did it. Get over it. He's a single-person operator. Chris Garrett, ILS Grand Theft Auto Online. Oh, so she was talking about Grand Theft Auto. I had it right. How about that? But what was she saying about GTA? What was the comment about? Whoops. Spell GTA correctly, Doug. It snows. Oh, okay. Grand Theft Auto Online has a snow scene. I get it. That makes sense. It's been a few days. I recall data reported by Disk Info not changing after running the long WD drive test. Did you run the Seagate test software on your drive with yellow caution? No, I did not, and not really interested in it. Also with splitters, they have a frequency range. The older splitter is chances they're not designed for today's higher frequencies to move more data. It's written to the splitter itself. It does reduce. You need terminators on the unused connectors. Yes, there's such a thing as terminators. I'll be back. Also a splitter with an amplifier, but check with cable company. Is as an ex-telecom engineer, I can confirm that with copper or aluminum cable, broadband signal is adversely affected by aluminum cable, also by any star wiring feeding other sockets in the customer site. So I could confirm copper. Yeah. Well, I think we're all on the same page with that. Chris Gear, this long dog to Chris. When multiple splitters are detected, when a weak signal has been verified, it's a good time for an amplifier. But remember, this is about the amplifier. Think about a minute. Makes sense. Mostly not an issue. Real source of the problem before amplification is fiber optic. Okay, good enough. We're done. Get out of here. Leave. Hit the end button. Is there anything else I need to say? Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Oh, but you knew that already. All right. Hey, have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.